Today I just wanted to make a video on, yeah, my journey with severe depression. But I just want to talk in general. Like, I will speak about myself because there are a lot of things that led to me being severely depressed. And I think for me, I might have been diagnosed like a few years back, like a few months back. But this is something that actually happened to me years back. It could have started at the time like I finished school. I'm almost certain, because you have this imagination that it's going to be great after you're done with school, no matter where you studied, and so forth and so forth. And especially if you live in a foreign land, like a lot of us have left our home countries or our hometowns, you know, you come from a different town and then you just have to go look for a better life elsewhere, and so forth and so forth. So if I were to list the things that actually got me into depression, I would think it's around adulting, the workplace, and being in social work and being unsupervised. That's one of the things that I greatly think contributed. Facing all these cases and not really having anybody to bounce it off, and so forth and so forth. And also being in a profession which I eventually thought, no, the methods that we're using contradict the people that we're working with or their cultures. We could use methods that are within the people already to solve some of the problems. Definitely the pressure to get married around my 30s is also one of those. I made a video already. You should look for it on my YouTube channel that talks about the pressure to get married and the loss of my baby. I lost a 5-year-old son whose name was Asa Jesse, a beautiful baby. He he was my world. He was the plan. And then losing him just left me so lost. It really left me lost. Like, okay, so what's the plan now? Do I really have anything that I can call an achievement in my life? But yeah, it was one of those things that really got me depressed. So there are a lot of things that do get people depressed. But I just wanted to talk to everyone. I wish I could say I wanted to talk to especially men, but yeah, it's with everybody. Everybody's going through stuff. And I think the worst thing anyone could do, whether they're depressed or they're just going through a tough time, the worst thing you could do is keep quiet. The worst thing you could do is not share with people who really care about you. The worst thing is, this is Africa. You can literally sit at a bench in a park and tell a stranger your story. I have one of my friends who told me about that when she was going through her own shenanigans. But that happens, like, yeah, in Africa we're free to sit with anyone and start discussing like about your life issues and they tell you about theirs. So, yeah, coming back to being opening up. I had, yeah, I just went into this dark place because of all those things, some of the things that I've mentioned. And, like by this time, we all calculated I should be having this, I should be having that, I should have done this or that. But then those things don't really happen. Like, you don't want to be in a state where, please try not be in a state where you're hiding things from home. I've never really been one of those, but then I've been strong trying to prove to people at home that, you know what, I can make it like the other children are doing it. Like, I can do what the other kids are doing. But a lot of us then keep quiet, especially men or boys. You keep quiet, you carry it on your own, you don't want anyone to know that you're going through a really tough time in a foreign land or in a different town. You don't want to be the one who came from that village or from that town and did not make it or is struggling. But then the more we keep quiet, the more we get into a dark hole. I would think things like blood pressure, suicide come from not sharing what's happening. I will tell you, like around level 5, when we had the lockdown at its highest, I went through a bit and I had to process things that had passed already. Like, I had to really sit down and be quiet and process the loss of my son, being without a baby. Do I want another one, or do I plan something different? And it was all so confusing and caused so much pain. Like, my heart was so, like, I was in so much pain. I cannot even describe the amount of pain. It would come from my gut. It would like take over my whole body. And you start hearing a voice. I thought it was something that just happened to, I don't know, like people elsewhere. Like, it's awkward, but you do start hearing a voice that tells you take your life, or doesn't directly tell you take your life, but then the voice that I started hearing was like, cut your wrists, cut your arms to let the pain out, because this pain could not be taken out by anything. It could not be taken out by anything. It was either uh, to cut parts of my hand, which I did not, or the wrist itself to end it all. So I struggled with this for some time, but then I did not keep quiet. I could not keep quiet because I understood, like, also, like, some of us having faith in God and stuff like that, you just don't believe this is the right way. Like, why would He have made my body for me to cut it? So I called on my mom and my cousins and talked about it, and really was open about the fact that, guys, I do feel like cutting my body, but then cutting your body is almost like killing yourself. That's a fact. And most of my thoughts would be with, oh yeah, if I were in heaven with my child, or it's better to be elsewhere than here. What have I done on this earth? What am I achieving? And these are actually thoughts that I have male friends who have the same thoughts. I have male friends who open up and actually tell you, like, they're going through hell. They're going through hell. Whether people are actually sick out there. And if we do not realize that we need somebody to talk to, we need to be really open with each other, we're really not going anywhere. I think we top up sickness on top of sickness on top of sickness. Because I would like to, like, in the African context, uh, what I call severe depression or any mental illness is actually madness. It's just called madness, like in most of our African languages, is you're mad, right? You've gone crazy, which is a very negative connotation because it's almost like you're on the street or you're on your way to being on the street. Yeah, we should be honest. Let's try be honest with each other. Let's try to, because the minute you open up, like, I've had times where I've been in public and I'm like, I am going to tell you all about my son's passing on. And most of the time I've been stunned by couples coming up and saying, we lost 2 kids before we had the 2 that we have now, or people talking about their miscarriages, different people telling you what's been happening in their lives. Everybody's carrying something. Like, we're all carrying something and we're all sick to a certain extent. So madness is for all of us. Madness is for human beings. It reminds me of somebody who was saying something like that, but then I can't really repeat what they were saying. But it's like, madness is not for goats. Being crazy is not for dogs. People with brains, normal people who've got great jobs, can go crazy. People with money, people without money, we can all go crazy in whichever way, like, because we call it crazy in our native languages. But at the same time, there are Western ways of dealing with it. Like, I was put on medication for severe depression, and truly it helped. It really got me numb enough not to feel the pain that I was feeling before, the pain that I kept on repeating, cut yourself, or just end this, uh, find a way to disappear, like just leave the earth and stuff like that. So all this ends. But yeah, like medication worked. But having spent this holiday with my mom and my sister was also another eye-opening trip, I guess, because I spent time with them, and they were certain things they would not accept. There were certain things that they would help me to do, like this is not, we're not going to, we will not accept this as normal. And to tell the truth, now I'm back home after the holidays. It sort of feels better. It sort of feels like, yeah, why should my space be like this? Or why should I allow myself to be like that? Or, just knowing that there are people who love you, people who are praying for you. Because exactly at that time where I had those very strong suicidal thoughts, it was my mom and cousin who helped me to pray, or who spoke, and my little sister who spoke me out of it. Like, who would tell me how much it meant to them. Like, you can't make us suffer the way we suffered when your son passed on. So those people around you, because most of us don't want to bother our families or relatives. You want to keep it a secret, you want to fight it on your own. We try many ways on our own. I've been saying to people, like, if double HP, somebody like double HP committed suicide because of severe depression, I just think if he had opened up to a lot of us or a lot of people, there would have been more room. I'm sure he spoke about it, because I know, like, he had many more suicide attempts. It was not just one. But imagine if we could have helped. Sometimes people just feel there's nothing that they've achieved. They need to hear it over and over and over and over again. From the time I heard Double HP killed himself, I wished I could tell him how much I loved him. I wished I could tell him, like, dude, you're the thing. Like, you're the one. Like, you are Africa. Like, you're best, you know? But yeah, so let's fight. Like, we all need to fight to get out of that dark spot. But one thing for sure, let's not fight alone. Do, tr- Honestly, just open up to anyone. If you want someone to talk to, I'm available to talk to, but then please don't over depress me with all your stories. But then people can find other people to talk to. Find people who you trust, even random people. Just tell them your story, and when they tell you theirs, trust me, by the time you walk away from that place, you're a bit better. But because also depression and all those other mental illnesses have levels. It starts somewhere. It definitely starts somewhere. You could end up with chemical imbalances that now need you to be on medication and so forth. But why let it get to that extent? For instance, in social work, with ever since I started working, I've been one of those brave, strong young women. A lot of people who've met me or worked with me would say, like, "Oh, you would definitely call me a role model in the industry." But the truth is, I held on. I was too brave. I separated my mind, my body, my soul. It was just my body operating. There were times where, for those who know me, like, I wouldn't even dress properly. I would just walk out of the house like, I have to do this. Mostly, and it was no, like, there was a level where it was no longer about the love of people, but the fact that it's uh, um, for survival, for my son to go to a good school. There was a level where it was about that, like, I've got a child who needs to go to school. I'm not going to leave, like, I'm not going to let my family look after my kid on I have to contribute as a mom. I'm a responsible mother. So there are those things, guys. We're just being strong, but everybody's going through something. If you spoke to anyone, they're all going through something. So don't be scared to be that crazy person don't get to that level where you have to be the crazy person that who's so stigmatized in Africa, the one who's running on the street or living on the street. We don't have to get to that level. We need to start talking to each other. We need to start being open with each other. I know a lot of people are like, I don't want to worry people who are at home and stuff like that. Sometimes you have to get them worried. Sometimes you have to let them know it's not working out. I won't be able to provide what you expect me to provide. So that's pretty much it. And especially to men, guys, you have to learn to open up, guys. Learn to open up. I've had friends, like I have male friends even today, who acknowledge they want to commit suicide, but they won't talk to anyone. They're running families and stuff like that and being all brave. Let's open up, find friends, let's talk about it. Everybody's going through something, and all these things gather up and they kind of become some form of illness, or it's so much pressure on the mind. And I remember the last time I spoke, like I talked about in that video where I was talking about the pressure to get married. Another girl was say to me, I was so brave to come out and say I have been severely depressed for a number of years. But yeah, two have been the worst. Like the last 2 years have been the worst ever since I lost my son. I think it just triggered everything. Like, okay, I don't have to be strong for nothing. All this time I've been hiding and being strong, but then now I just have to let go. And everything went haywire in the 2 years. And yeah, some girl says you're brave and stuff like that. I've forgotten her name and I'm so sorry because I know you're going to watch this video again. But it is true. It calls, it shouldn't even call for being brave. We should stop stigmatizing each other. Who's not going through stuff? Like, if we were to come into your life and actually try find out, yeah, you might say, I'm crazy, I'm losing family members, I'm losing loved ones, or I'm not making it as much as I thought I would make it, or, we thought she would be here or she would be there. But then are you where you were expected to be? Are you doing the things that, is your life so fabulous? So we all should just try, open up, talk to each other, and let it be what it is. Our Facebook photos, our Instagram photos are not our real lives. So open up your hearts to friends, to families. It doesn't matter what they call you. I accept. Like, I am one person who has come to a point. I was actually talking to my cousin, like, I accept I am a crazy person. And she also says, yeah, I accept I'm mad. Because that's, to some extent, that's the starting point. We have to understand our lives are driving us crazy. So sometimes your mental health is not okay. Sometimes your brain cannot stand the stuff that's happening. And you just have to accept it. And guys, another thing is, don't force being where you're not wanted. That's one of the things that causes a lot of depression. Forcing things. Forcing things. If friends don't want to be your friends, girl, move on. Or boy, move on. If a relationship is not working, guys, let go. Let go. Relationships can cause depression. A whole lot of it. This pressure for you to be with someone and stuff like that. If somebody doesn't love you, they don't love you and they will never love you. No matter what you do. Or if they don't respect you, they will never respect you. So it doesn't really matter. Like, it's not about you. It's actually about them. You're just not the person. So don't put your brains under that much pressure. Don't put your emotions under that much pressure. Just move and be amongst people who actually make you happy. So I hope we got this, guys. Subscribe to my channel, like, share. I will keep on talking about this. I think I spoke about everything that literally got me depressed. Like, I spoke about the work, I spoke about losing my son, the pressure to get married already has a video of its own, and yeah, that's mostly it. And being in a foreign land. Like, dudes, honestly, everybody, if God allowed them, they'd be in their hometown or their home country. Being away from home, we have to accept as one of the contributing factors of our depression, or of the emotional or psychological challenges that we're facing. It's not cool being away from home. So I came here to pour out my heart. Those who want to listen can listen. Those who want to judge can judge all they want. Because I know I'm not about to kill myself because I'm being silent. Because I'm being silent about things that I can share. And I'm being silent and being hurt about losing one child, yet there are people who've lost 3 kids out there who I can sit with and talk to and actually hear their pain and actually hear their reaction of their bodies is the same as mine. For instance, when I lost my son, oh my gosh, like my gut, the pain in your stomach, it does not go away. And it's something that might still be continuing. But let's talk. Let's talk. There are a lot of other people who are going through the same things as you are. Man, why are you afraid for other guys to say you're crazy? You're weak. We're all weak. Any human being is weak. You have to have people who you can be weak around. You have to find your tribe. You have to find people that you can cry to, people you can be really weak with. And mostly I would say it's your family. If it's not your family, get those people. There are strangers who could end up being more than a brother. So that's all I have to say. Like, I'm just putting so much pressure on the fact that let's not be quiet and nobody's living a perfect life. Let's talk about it. It affects all of us. Our mental health, as long as you've got a brain, you're affected at some point or the other. So open up. Let's talk. Bye. Later. I'll see you on the next video.